Hi, hello, and good evening. Um, much possibly to my dismay, we are still gathering to discuss Temptation Island. I don't know how
Oh,
this
get out of
happened.
here. I love it. I love it.
Do you love it? Do you actually love it, or do you just like love to hate watch it? Like, what
It
is
is bad. It is bad.
it? It is bad.
It's bad in the best possible way. I love it. I'm having
Yes,
so much fun. I'm
so
having so
much
much
fun.
fun. And I'm in
Not
love with
how I.
Nafisa.
No,
Uh,
not how. Oh,
She
Nafisa.
did not
That's
get enough
really what it
screen
is.
time tonight or on this last episode. Not enough screen time for Nafisa. I'm sorry. I'm totally interrupting your whole
Wow.
intro here.
I didn't really have an intro, and I guess this one was as good as any. All right, so there it is. I am Kyle Petty, and as always, I am joined by my festy besties, Gina Morgino and John Dunphy, and this is Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast, arguably. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod or on our still unupdated website, stratchatpod.com. I think I'm just shutting this down, y'all. I think I'm just going to shut it
no.
down. I don't think anybody gives two craps about the website. Like, I certainly don't. So, I don't know. So anyway, we're here chatting about Temptation Island, the reboot here on USA Old Faithful, or on Thursdays on the Peacock.
That's right.
There's
That's
a
right.
reason to return after the traitors. Now, this show stinks.
This show is doo-doo. I'm sorry.
Come on. We got our first bonfire.
We sure did get our first bonfire. It was a half
That was fun.
bonfire. It was a bonf because we didn't get to see the end of the men's.
It was a bomb.
Yes. Yeah, so you color me miffed. So what are we gonna do here? You want to run down each couple and just chat about where they are and what's going on? I don't know these singles names, so it's gonna be rough.
I
Okay.
barely know the couple's names.
I know. Well, I know the couple's names. I guess I like it a little bit more than I'm saying.
You
Let's
want me
see
to
our
pull
first
them up
couple.
here?
Yeah, pull them up. Let's have a gander.
Okay. All right. The first one that I have in here is Vanessa
Uh-huh.
and Roberto.
Oh yes.
Mhm.
Oh yes. These are one of my faves.
This, they will never survive.
Absolutely not.
No, and I don't think they should.
No, it's
Um,
real bad.
It is real bad. But I mean, they were real bad coming in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does one start here?
Well, I just thought it was really wild how like Vanessa saw this clip of like Roberto kind of like talking bad on her. I know, I get it. He wasn't saying, he was like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed of her. I already think I might not be leaving this island with her." And like she got so pissed. Meanwhile, in this episode, we were watching her tell this guy Bryce, like, "I want to be your husband and wife in here. I want
Mhm.
I want to claim you." And her telling all the other girls that they're not allowed to take Bryce out on a date. I was like,
what is that? What is
like,
that?
how are you gonna be so mad at Roberto over
that's
here?
the problem with all of these people is that they're all
Right.
pissy that their significant other is talking to other people while they're also talking to other people.
Yes. And is anyone else surprised that she's really trying to lock down Bryce? Like she was not too thrilled that he was the age he was, right? When he said he was 25, she was like, oh no, I don't know about this. And then when she found out how many partners he had, she also turned her nose up at that. But now all of a sudden he's got to be locked down, right? Nobody else can date him. She wants to say, I want to claim you as mine. What is happening?
Yeah. That was really wild. I gotta tell you, I don't like Vanessa. I don't really like Rob either. But like,
I don't like any of these people.
Right, there's nobody I like. I still say Vanessa's my favorite because she's just giving me a lot of great.
Well, because she's the
television.
messiest one, so of course she's
a
gonna be your
good
favorite to
time.
watch.
But I also just love the way she speaks. Like she has very good diction. You know, she's just fun to listen to. And I like the way she speaks. Yeah,
When the
but she
Brooklyn
also
comes
has like
out of her.
yeah. I
I
really
was
like
gonna say
it.
that accent too. Like when that comes
Yes.
out, ooh.
Yeah, I just want her
Yeah.
to like just read books to me and stuff. Like I just like to hear her talk. So she's really
Oh
fun.
yeah. So you would listen to any audiobook as long as it was narrated by Vanessa.
I don't know about any. I mean, I still have some standards. I just, if I were to get an audio book, I would want it to be her. Put it that way.
Fair.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
And that list is also very short. I also like how direct she is, though, because I feel like she treats everything almost like a business transaction, and like
There's no
some people,
bullshit.
yes, and like I maybe that's not other people's flavor, but like at least she's like very clear.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, if you want to rock out with this is what it is. If you don't want it, you can go elsewhere. And he's like, well,
Which
what
is
if I
why,
make the
like,
wrong decision? And she's like, well, if you make the wrong decision, then that's on you. Sorry. She is so like, you know exactly what's up. Like,
I don't vibe with her, but when you see that like he's going around and talking to people being like she embarrasses me, I don't like the way she acts. Okay, so why are you with her? Because you know exactly what you're gonna get. She pulls no punches.
mhm.
And while she's not someone that I would get along with, I wouldn't go out of my way to spend as much time with her as possible. Like you in getting into a relationship with her knew what you were getting. You know?
I think that he was holding a lot of this down though. Like if you remember from like was it I think it was episode 2 with the whole incident in the jacuzzi
Oh, of course.
where he was like screaming about how he never gets to talk. I
But
almost feel like
I
he's
even mean
just
like
but I think he's just realizing all of this now for the first time is what I'm
because I was
saying.
gonna say, like,
Is
this
that-
all predates the show. There's no way that all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, she's embarrassing," you know? Like, she's
Mhm,
been this.
mhm.
There's no way she hasn't been this person the whole time.
like because after that whole blow up in the jacuzzi too, like we saw a confessional from him then of him. It seemed like he was only now just like finding out for himself, being like, wait a
Sure.
minute, I've never been able to do this and I didn't realize it. Now I am, and now I'm yelling at people and I'm
Right,
crying.
because he's
Like,
getting the
it's
opportunity
like,
to. He's like,
yeah,
"Oh, I haven't done this yet."
yeah.
I have to also say, and it's hard to make this assumption because we are new to this show, right? It's only
Mhm.
episode 3. We don't know things. And we didn't get to see the rest of the men's bonfire. And
Right.
the next on did make it seem to suggest that, obviously Paris was going to get blown up as far as great spot here. But I'm
Yeah.
very anxious to see if some of the footage shown about the females is as damning as the men's footage, because Vanessa has said some not great things
Oh yeah.
about Roberto also. And I want to see if he's presented with some of those things, because she really does make it sound like he needs to be led, like he's a little boy that, like he was like lost, like a little puppy or something. And I don't know, like the way that the editing of even, I don't like Maricela. I don't like
Really,
her.
I do like
I
her.
do
know.
like her. I like
I
her a
know.
lot. She's
Yeah.
like
I
the
knew
only
everyone
person I
was-
like.
Ugh.
She's one of my favorite. Honestly, Maricela and Nafisa are my 2 favorites in this whole show.
I have such an issue with Maricela because like she has such an issue with like Christopher doing like anything with other people. Meanwhile, she came into this situation wanting to do things with other
Right.
people. Like,
Right.
how
The
dare
codependency.
you?
The codependency is definitely a problem.
Yes, and it's like but like every time we see her, she's crying. This is like, Maricela's lament. And it's like, enough now. Okay.
Maricela's lament.
Yes, it's like everything is. I'm just realizing how stupid that sounds. I'm sorry, but it's just like everything is supposed to like make you be endeared towards her. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for this girl, and it's like you're putting expectations on him that like you don't expect to have on you. Like,
Right.
I'm so tired. Sorry.
Oh wow.
Which I
Hot
mean,
take.
did come up in Bonfire. That was a whole thing of like, I have like this list of rules that I have to abide by, but like she doesn't really hold herself to that standard.
No.
Yeah, he kind of said like we both have these rules, but they're only really enforced on this one side, is what it seemed like Christopher was trying to portray. But even Christopher was so weird. And I actually do want to say something else about Rob in a minute, but like,
Yes.
but since we've
way out of way.
no, but since we're on this, I don't know. I felt like all of these people on this island have known each other for like 2 days, as far as we can tell. And I thought it was just like, I thought it was very funny how Christopher was like, man, I met this girl. She's got good credit. She wakes up early. And I'm like,
I know. Does that
Okay.
mean that Vanessa does not have good credit? Like, because you're listing all these things that I'm assuming are.
How easy it is when you don't have internet access and a phone to just lie about your credit. Like, why are
Right.
we just assuming?
Said, let me see your smartphone. Let me see your Credit Karma.
Your Credit Karma.
You're basing that
Oh,
off
man.
of because she said she has good credit.
Mm-hmm. I could say anything too.
Yeah, my credit score is 500. It's way up there. You never know. Somebody might think that that's a high score. It's not a high score.
I was like, what?
And I was like, wait a
That's
second.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
not good.
You could just
I
throw
worked
out a
really
number.
hard to get out of the 500s.
No, that's what I mean. But I wanted to say about Roberto, because he had a whole thing between Tia, who he took on his first date, but then like all of a sudden was like kind of feeling Desi, right? Desiree or whatever. But I didn't understand this whole thing because Tia got like pissed. But I remember, I don't know if you guys remember on their first date, the whole date between Roberto and Tia, it felt like they both agreed that they felt more like friends. And I feel like even Tia was like, oh, like Des has a very funny personality. Like maybe you should talk to her. So it was weird to see like
I do remember
conflict.
that, yeah.
Right. Like it was weird to see the conflict between the three of them because it was like Tia literally told Roberto that like she sees them more as friends. Maybe you should go after Desiree. And then he did that. And Tia was like, how dare you? Oh, God. I don't know. That stuck out to me. I don't know if you guys.
I didn't.
care.
No, I had
didn't
forgotten
catch
about
it.
that, but I
don't
do
rem-
remember seeing that happen.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember these people. Like, I don't know who they are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like without a picture, I don't know who anyone
Sure.
is. Yeah, I really struggle with this. So Des is Desiree.
Yes.
Okay.
Who he was kind of like. Roberto in this episode was kind of like they were talking, they were flirting, and then Des was like,
They
"Oh,
sent
but Tia is like my best friend." Yeah, she was like, "Tia's my best friend. Like, you should definitely talk to her before we like do anything." And then they like called her over and spoke to her together, which I thought was really weird too. Like,
and then, but also
Tia?
dismissed. Like, she's like, "Oh, well, you can go if you want." Right? Who said that to who? Yeah, this. Is
I
a mess.
think
I don't know these people.
I think Tia said that to Desiree.
Woof.
Why can't I find Tia now? I definitely saw her picture in here.
I just had her up.
It was
This is
just
Tia.
up.
That's Tia.
Oh, I thought you had Desiree. I didn't even see you put Tia up. I saw you put Desiree up.
Wow. Well, there she is.
Well, there
Oh
she
well.
is.
All right, so that's that on that, I suppose.
Okay, that was it. Just that was the whole only thing with Roberto that I wanted to bring up. I guess we talked about Maricela. Do you have anything else on Maricela and Christopher?
Nah,
Okay.
had enough of them.
Okay. How about Caitlin and Hall?
Oh boy.
This is another one where I'm like, like Hall being so like, all right, I've been with this girl and I'm engaged to her and I want to have kids and she's not ready to. But this woman that I just met 2 days ago said that she does want kids. So now I don't know what to do. It's just like, you've known this person for 2 days. You're already talking about a family. Like any other situation, if there was any other situation where you met somebody and 2 days later they were being like, so like, do you want to have kids with me? You would think they were a complete psychopath.
It's just I can't wrap my head around, like, do you want kids or not is a deal breaker conversation.
It is.
How is this not something that is ironed out before you get engaged to somebody? How are you just now realizing, hey, we're engaged and it's now a problem for me that you don't want to have kids as much as I want to? That is something that you figure out before you start planning a future with somebody, if you're both on the same page about family planning.
Listen, we had already found out that they had the communication issues from go. All right, because they broke up and she didn't even know why.
Sure, communication issues. Like getting engaged but having communication issues, like I can wrap my head around that a little bit more.
They don't
but something that major, something like, do you want to have children, is something you find out about someone before you get engaged. That's freaking crazy.
But see, that's the thing. Like, we kind of know the answer, right? We kind of know that. What is her name? Caitlin. Caitlyn. We already know Caitlyn. She don't want to have kids. She doesn't. That's why
Be
she
with her if
responds the
you
way she
desperately
does.
do.
Yeah, and that is why she doesn't really want to set a date, right? She don't want kids. It's not the life she wants. Um,
But he
and he,
seems to desperately want children. So why are you choosing to marry somebody who doesn't?
Well,
That's insane.
that's
she
the
did
thing. I
say,
don't. I think they're doomed. They're doomed.
"Oh, I think all these couples are doomed." The minute they got off the boat and stepped on this island, they were all doomed. But I feel like
Choosing to
it's
come on a show like this, you're doomed. If you're even having the conversation of, hey, would you maybe like to go on this TV show? Doomed. Doomed.
I suddenly love the word doomed. Oh, it's very fun.
yeah,
Doomed. It's fun to say.
doomed.
Doomed. Doomed.
Whoa.
Oh, going to woo her.
Yeah, I told Kyle this past week that my plan is to somehow woo Nafisa.
Oh, God.
By subscribing to her OnlyFans and sending
Yeah,
her
I'm so
creepies.
sure. You have fun with that. Best of luck to you.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Hall and Caitlyn. It feels like she's like kept him in the fold, because even at the bonfire in this episode that we saw, she did say that like she wasn't totally against ever having kids, and she could maybe see herself having them in 3 or 4 years. But I do also understand that that means if Hall is already 35, that means his first kid's not coming until he's 40.
Right, 3 or
Also,
4
like,
years. Like
they
that's a
definitely-
long time.
But it's also like they've had the conversation to a point, because he said to somebody, like, anytime that it comes up, she says, oh, well, I would be willing to have kids if that's what you want, or like something to that nature. Like he made some kind of a comment. But like what is that? I don't know.
Right.
They're a mess.
You can't be lukewarm on kids, you know?
No. They're not going to make it. They're not going to
No.
make it. Mm-mm.
Now, do you see the red light in the house going off because of one of them? Do you think that Hall on this island is going to cheat on Caitlyn? Or I think it's much more likely that he would cheat on her than she would cheat on him.
I have been predicting that he is going to be the first one to cheat on his significant other.
Oh, see, I don't know about that. I don't think I can agree with that. Because after this first bonfire, I think that because we left on the cliffhanger of Great finding out.
Well, now that has
Paris,
happened, I now think that way. But up until this point, I thought that Hall was going to be the first one.
I have a feeling that it's either going to be Great going back to the house after seeing a video clip of Paris saying that she would, you know, if there were no cameras, I would suck that guy's dick or whatever. Like, she literally said that I could either see Great going back to the house and immediately hooking up with one of the women that he's been flirting with, or I could see Vanessa now.
Oh, never mind.
Well, she could, but I also feel like I could see Vanessa going back to the house being, oh, Rob doesn't even want to leave the island with me. I'm going to hook up with Bryce tonight. I almost see it being less likely now that Paris would hook up with somebody right away because of the way the bonfire went.
Oh gosh,
because of the talk that she had with Mark Wahlberg.
Wait, stop. There's just so many things there that you said that I have to. All right, hold on. Paris is absolutely going to cheat on Great. I don't know what you're talking about. There was something else that was even before that even sounded even more preposterous. Oh gosh.
I just mean the
Paul
very first person.
Paul would cheat first. No, there was something else that John said. Damn it.
I said that I think the two most likely people to now go back to the house and cheat after this bonfire would be either Great or Vanessa. Those are two things that I said. I also said that I think that it's less likely after this bonfire because of the talk that Paris had with Mark that she will go back and I don't think it's out of the question that Paris will eventually cheat on Great, but I don't think that it's going to happen immediately after this bonfire because was it that
like, I'm trying to figure out what Kyle's thinking of.
It was just the things that were brought up between Paris and Mark. Like, they had a really deep convo. We learned about Paris losing her mother at 1 and not knowing her father till she was 11. Like, she had a very we really got deep into Paris's personal history, where I feel like for people like Great and a great finding out about this whole thing that Paris said, and then Vanessa seeing Rob's video. I see both of them going back more with a mindset of like, I'm going to cheat on my partner that I came here with over anybody else.
Kyle, was the thing you were trying to remember that of the two of them, Hall would be the one to cheat and not Caitlyn?
Well, I don't think either of them are going to cheat, honestly.
Really?
I think maybe Hall, maybe a little bit later. I actually don't think that Hall's going to. I don't think he'd be the first one because there's a part of me that really thinks that he actually really loves this Caitlyn, and really wants this to be so. So I think he'll really try to be respectful. I think he eventually will, but I don't know that he'd be first.
That's why I mean, yeah,
Paris
that's
and
what I'm
Great
saying.
are both gonna go back and just it's over. Like they
100%,
are
they're both cheating.
super done, super done.
100%.
That's over. That's super over. I think Rob is done. And once Rob
Done.
sees,
You think Rob is done as in he's going to cheat or going to be cheated on?
well, both. I think it's just a matter of who is Rob going to cheat with. I don't think he gives a damn about Vanessa anymore. I don't see a clear path of who Rob is actually going to cheat with, but it's just going to happen because like this thing with Vanessa just sucks. I mean, they're only in it a year, and he's that miserable.
Yeah. I just feel like Vanessa is more likely to cheat before Rob because of the clips that were shown. I could see Rob still. He's talking a big game right now, but I feel like I could still see him having some doubts in his mind about things because I feel like he's just still processing all of this stuff. And he's between two girls right now where Vanessa has her sights, is literally telling all the girls Bryce is mine.
But again,
she just found out that Rob wants to leave the island without her anyway.
Again, though, to your point, we haven't seen his side of the bonfire. I almost said the tribal. His side of the bonfire yet.
Right.
So we don't know what he's going to see of her.
Right. I'm very intrigued to see what that is. And I don't know. We're also just assuming that Bryce is going to do something with Vanessa. I'm not so sure that he's digging her. Like, he doesn't really seem like he's into it. I think he's just trying to be kind of respectful because, like, she's in a more power position than him.
Because even like right from the get, he was kind of put off by how, I guess, abrasive she was too.
Right. Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? It's too much.
No, that's definitely true. I in that whole conversation where she was telling him like, I want to claim you, I want to be like husband and wife while we're here,
he was
this and that, like,
nah, fam.
What are you supposed to say? Yeah, what are you supposed to say if you're Bryce there?
He just said, like, no, we good. And I was like, ooh. I'm like, are you? Not as good as she thinks you are. Yeah. Mess.
I never pulled up Paris and Great's photo, by the way. I pulled up everybody else's, but that's them. In case anybody needs a reminder.
There they are.
Yeah, I don't know. This all just seems like a mess. But we definitely do have an incomplete picture being left on a cliffhanger with the men.
And that's what this is what
like that.
This is what drives me nuts about these shows, because freaking Love is Blind does the same thing. It's like, as soon as you get to the part where you really want to see something, it's like, oh, they'll come back to the next episode. And it's like, just give me a complete arc in this episode. Yes. I promise I'll come back. Just let me see everything in a concise package.
Right. Yeah, and it's true. It's totally true, because I'm going based off of what we did see. But it's totally true that Rob might see something that really sets him off from Vanessa, and we didn't get to see that in this episode. But based off of what we did see, I do think that the two most likely to be the first to cheat are Great and Vanessa at this point, without any other information.
Great and Vanessa?
Yeah.
Not Paris. You're not putting Paris on that list. Most likely to cheat.
Paris was the first person to say she was going to hook up with somebody. What do you mean, not Paris?
Because
she said the words.
Yeah. Right, and I get that. But what I'm saying is she still hasn't done it, and she said that the reason is because that there are cameras, and the cameras aren't going away. But I think that Great seeing Paris say that she wants to suck some other guy's dick is going to make him go back and be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to hook up with somebody. And Vanessa seeing Rob say, I think I'm going to leave the island without her, I think is going to make her go back to the house and hook up with somebody. But Paris left there in a very different way, talking with Mark about her parents and her childhood and how she was brought up. I think the emotions of the bonfire, when those groups go back to their villas, are going to work in different ways. Paris isn't going to go back to the house being like, oh yeah, 2 hours ago I said I wanted to suck that guy's dick, so now I'm going to do it because for the last hour I've been at a bonfire with Mark Wahlberg talking about my parents. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that the show intentionally set it up that way. I think Great gets to go and see his woman that he came in with in a relationship talking about how she wants to suck some guy's dick. Vanessa doesn't know she's going to go home with her man or not. Whereas Paris left there with a much more emotional meeting with Mark. That's what I'm going off of, is those bonfire conversations.
And you know, okay, that's all super fair. I'm gonna stand down.
Yeah, no,
a little bit,
because,
but
I don't think it's out of the question, but I can.
Right, I hear you. But the other thing here, though, is that like I'm gonna have a problem, and this is where I really want to do. I do want to talk about the edit and the way that the men are being presented, because like Paris has said some pretty offensive things, and yes, she got this whole emotional thing going on. I want to see what Great gets when he's now presented with this. Because the evidence on her is really just as damning, if not arguably more so. So what kind of a treatment is he going to get? Because I still say, like, I have to go back to Christopher and Marisela here, you know, because that entire conversation, it felt so apologetic for Christopher accepting her for what she is. They're going through. I'm like, oh, I understand. How's it this? Oh, this is difficult. I have to make sure I'm very supportive and like blah blah blah. It felt so just in her favor, as if like he now needed to just be more for her.
Well, I will say on her side of the bonfire, like most of the conversation was very much not necessarily calling her out on her shit, but like, okay, we need to dig a little deeper into what's going on like internally for you before we can figure out your problems with the relationship. And he very clearly ended it off like, you know, this conversation's not over, right? Like, you know, we're going to dig a lot deeper into this. So like for right now, let's just unpack what you've got going on internally. And then next time we're going to do the rest of it, you know?
Okay. Yeah. And that's fair. And that also reminds me that maybe I need to look at this show as not like nobody's going home, right? There's no elimination. So either this couple is going to grow or they're going to.
It's
like there are eventually eliminations, which is another reason we need to have Billy Blinks on here, by the way, because they've talked about eliminations in the future here.
Okay, now see, you're about to lose me. You're about to lose me. So I was going to say there's like some growth here, and we're talking
right, like because in my head, this is like a long form like therapy session of like, all right, let's go to like a couples counseling, but like also add in this fun little element of like hot people,
right?
You
this
know,
crazy thing. Yeah. So, okay. I guess we'll see how that goes.
I'm trying to look.
I don't know if I want eliminations.
I don't want eliminations either. Unless we're eliminating some of the singles. I don't want the couples to go.
I think that's
consider them extras.
I think that's how it goes, is the eliminations. Is the singles get eliminated. I have an article here from 24 hours ago.
I don't know that anyway.
Yeah, right, exactly. I have an article here from 24 hours ago from Distractify. That's titled
Hot Off the Press.
Yeah, 24 hours ago. It says, how do eliminations work on Temptation Island? Because, you know, we're still learning this show. We don't know anything.
Tell us about it. Tell us things.
Let's see what they say here. Sorry, I had to disable my ad blocker.
No, nobody needs to know all that.
Well, I wanted to let you know why it was taking so long. Let's see. Eliminations work the way they.
Kyle showing up the new phone.
I was trying to.
There you go.
Trying to fill the space since there was nothing going on.
Wow. Okay. Oh my God. Eliminations work the way they have in past seasons. The 4 women from the couples and their counterparts have to unanimously agree to eliminate one of their own singles. In other words, a couple of girls vote off a single guy.
Yes.
And a couple of guys vote off a single girl. These tend to be people who didn't form connections with any of the members of the couples.
Yeah.
Unlike other shows, the eliminations do not happen every episode and happen seemingly at random times, even though we are sure the producers know what they are doing.
That's really fun. That I like. I like that a lot. I can't wait for that. If the couples were leaving, I wouldn't like that. Because I do want to see how their relationship evolves.
Right.
Like, I want to see it.
Right. Well, I think that's why it really is true. Like what we were talking about before, like in the group chat before the stream, like the couples are the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
The singles are just like the extras that were brought in, and once in a while, an extra on a show becomes a main character if the people like them enough. That's like how this feels.
Well, right, because that's actually what the story is. Because if you're not even chosen for a date, then we don't see you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there are singles on this show that I have never seen a confessional from.
Yeah, that's why we don't know. Yeah,
like I've just never seen them do anything.
Right, because you're the extras.
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting. What do you think about? I'm pretty sure the only member of a couple that chose the same date as the first date was Hall, right? Picking Michaela. Where's Michaela?
Was he the only one?
I don't think anybody else picked the same date this time.
I remember.
But I don't really like. What do you think about this thing? Like, so this is Hall picked Michaela.
Hey, girl.
But like, do you think that they should have to pick different people, or do you like that they can pick the same person potentially?
I like they can pick the same person. That's who you're feeling.
It doesn't really bother me necessarily.
Yeah,
I did see something
testing if you're like whether or not this is somebody you're really compatible with and get to know you, like than just be like some like fuck buddy. Then yeah, I think you should have like a second date.
Right, like the game isn't just like, are you gonna have sex with someone that's not your partner? It's like, are you going to
make a
end
connection?
up like
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting because I guess it depends what you're looking for if you're coming in as a couple. But because I saw something that like if you are a member of a couple that's picking the same person over and over again, but there's a single that wants to get to know you more, they might try to influence the elimination in a way that sends that person home. So like if Hall feels a connection to Michaela, is it smart for him to continue to pick her date after date? Because they seem to have a lot of downtime in these villas. You can still get to know her and hang out with her, but you might inadvertently get her sent home because you continue to pick her and there's somebody else that wants to get to know you more.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, yeah, but who's voting? Isn't it the guys voting for the girls?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the singles aren't going to vote each other out. The guys are voting for which single woman is going home, right? Not like the single women voting for one of their own to leave. Right?
Well, so it says that the 4 women from the couples and their counterparts have to unanimously agree to eliminate one of their own singles. So, I mean, I guess it depends how this all works, really. We have to see, because we haven't seen this happen yet. Like I don't know, if maybe Caitlyn and Hall have to agree. And if Caitlyn says, like, if you have any feeling like you want to be with me after this, there's no way that Michaela can continue in here. Does Hall now risk his 8-year relationship with Caitlyn for a girl he met a few days ago?
I hate that. That's
know what I mean? Like,
that's silly. Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see. I hope that's not the case. And we also don't know what the reboot will do. What if there are no eliminations in the reboot? The script is being rewritten.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I know nothing.
We know nothing. All right. I have nothing else about Temptation Island. I got nothing else.
Well, I here's what I'll say. I was a little surprised. I did like, because I will agree with you guys that this is not like this is not a good show. It's a bad show, but I love it. I really do. I'm actually really enjoying this. I think it's so ridiculous. But I was a little surprised by some of the bonfire conversations, because I think that it would have been very easy, right, to go into a bonfire and just show a clip of each member, right, the man and the woman of each couple, and just show like a clip of them getting like twerked on or twerking on someone else. And I felt like the conversations at the bonfire were pretty good. Like we got discussion about family, right? When Mark was talking about Caitlyn and like having kids, like it got a lot deeper than I expected it to, I think. Instead of
You
just
know,
being like, oh, this guy and this girl or whatever, like you came into the house in a relationship with them, but now this person's you grinding on them and this and that. How does that make you feel? Where it's like Caitlyn and Hall, the conversation was about kids and family, and then the whole conversation with Paris became like a backstory on like what her upbringing was like and her parents. Like I had no idea. Like the fact that she said like, oh, I've been kind of living on my own and surviving since I was 17 because my mom died when I was 1 and I didn't even know my father until I was 11. And then, you know, and then even the conversation with Maricela, I felt like got very deep, where she was like, I think I put a lot of these rules on Christopher because I'm insecure with like where I am mentally, emotionally, and financially. And that was one of the first things we saw Christopher bring up was that this girl he was talking to, she's got great credit. You know, it was like, I felt like it got deeper in certain ways than I expected it to, rather than just being like all these people hooking up and grinding on each other. And that's all the show is. It got a little bit more like, yeah.
You know, like we have this element that we haven't seen yet, but with like the whole like glowing orb if someone cheats on their partner or whatever it is. But like, as much as like the mess is entertaining, that is a very boring show. If it's just like, okay, are you going to touch another person? Like, it's much more interesting to really deep dive into, okay, this is the person that I am engaged to and been dating for 8 years, and I'm watching him connect to another woman in a way that he doesn't connect to me. How does that now play out? Like, it's just that those like interpersonal relationships are like juicier, you know, like there's just more to it. There's more to delve into.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to comment about what I thought about the bonfire until I actually got to see a full bonfire.
Sure.
Right. But like, I mean, I do agree with everything you said there. We got a lot in this that I didn't expect to get. Right. But I want to make sure that the men are getting as equally impactful a bonfire as the women
Right.
did. And then I will be able to really say if I like this bonfire concept. I did not enjoy Christopher in his bonfire experience. Again, I felt it was very, very Maricella's lament, and it was just very much like
In that situation, I do have hope that it's like this time was her redemption arc, and next time it will be like questioning her about his stuff, you know?
agree, agree. I do. I have hope as well. Um, I'm optimistic, you know, but like I'm hesitant because I didn't like how explosive now Great's bonfire experience was starting to look from that next one. But of course, that's what we're going to get from the next one, right?
Yeah.
If it's going to be a clunker, we don't. That's not quite a cliffhanger, right? So you know, all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. I want to just
And
make
to
sure that the
fair, I mean,
men
like,
get the same
really
experience.
we really didn't see anyone other than Paris make quite such a claim. So like, who else is really going to get that kind of explosion this time?
Well, Roberto could. I'm sure there's some footage there of Vanessa and some of the conversations she's had regarding
Sure.
him, and
Oh,
her
it's
view
got to
of
be
him.
that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally
Yeah,
agree.
there's some
I feel
damning
like
stuff that could happen there too. So we really need
yeah.
to make sure that we're diving into the emotional end of why Roberto would even still entertain this relationship with her.
Right.
Because up until he met these other women, you know, he was still really singing her praises. Even when like
Yeah.
the other women came into the house and we were all meeting them as a couple, like he was still like he was talking
Yeah.
to people, but like he was being respectful enough.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't
I
until he
hope
was
that,
isolated and drunk that we had that moment. You know,
Right.
so
Right. Right.
yeah, I'm anxious to see how that one goes. That's all.
I hope the clip that he gets shown is the one of her telling Bryce like that she wants to claim him, Vanessa.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, and
that'll be
how's he going to feel
interesting.
about that? Yeah, I want to make sure the men are getting the scum also,
Yeah.
and not the
I also
Jerry
like.
Springer Paris and Great way. I want to see like the people who are actually acting like they got some real emotion. Because even though Vanessa and Roberto have been together for a short amount of time, I felt like there was more of an emotional attachment than there was between Paris and Great. So I expect Paris and Great to be Jerry Springer. I want to see something maybe a little bit more Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah, like still kind of trashy, because that's what it is. That's also why we're here. But sometimes we get into the deep issues, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get from them. Yeah.
I'm also excited, by the way, because it seemed like it was a big surprise. Because we only saw Mark go to the girls' villa, right? And tell them that they were going to have a bonfire without their significant others. We didn't see him do that with the men. But it seemed like a big surprise to all of the women that they were going to be at the bonfire without their significant others. I'm assuming in the past, the couples were sitting there together watching these clips. So I am excited for the potential of having the couples sit together and have to watch these clips together and then have to explain themselves right in the minute on the spot.
Well,
I'm excited for that.
I have a feeling there's going to be a combination of both. Like some of them are combined and some of them are separate. So you can really because if your significant other is there, maybe they're not going to be as open and honest about their issues. So I have a feeling there will be some where it's like, and now you have to explain directly to me what I would just watch you do. And some where it's like, okay, here's what's going on. How do you feel about that? Let's talk about it without them here. So we can really,
So we can really dive in. Get granular.
I have one more question about Temptation Island. One more topic.
One
that I want
more.
to talk to you guys about. Yes, one more topic. Mark Wahlberg as the host. What do you think of him? This could be just because this was the first time that we saw this bonfire thing where he was in sort of like the Jeff Probst, position where he's talking at Tribal. We see Julie Chen on Big Brother always, interviewing people when they come out of the house. We see Jeff. So what did you think of Mark's performance and his questioning and the way he handled this bonfire? Because for us, this is new. We've never seen him do this.
For the skill of it, I thought he really conducted some fantastic conversations, with our ladies. Yeah, I was very impressed with how he handled it. I felt like they were very genuine comments and questions. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I still want to reserve some judgment until I see the rest of the bonfires.
I get that. That's fair.
I just want to make sure it's not swayed in favor of the ladies. I want everyone to get the same experience. Make sure they come out of it, with the same growth. I want the same growth opportunities available for all.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he did a great job there. So I'm excited.
No, I was impressed by what his questions were. I was impressed to see that it wasn't so surface level. And it was like, okay, I see you're getting upset about what you just said. Let's talk about that more. Give me more of that. Well, what else you got?
Exactly. Julie could never.
No.
Welcome to our show.
Sometimes I genuinely wonder if Julie is even listening to their response or just looking at the cue card of whatever the next question is going to be.
Yeah, she's not.
Right.
She's like, all right, I asked the question. What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
As soon as they stop talking and we're pausing for too long, I'll talk again.
Yep.
Now it's my turn. Here's the next question.
Or someone in the earpiece is like, Julie, now. Julie, go.
Hey, Jules.
Scheming.
That's the real reason why there's no live audience anymore.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Sorry.
Oh man.
So rude. Right on BB25 Eve over here slamming our lady. Damn. Sorry, girl. At least she gives us feeds, right? Come on.
Does she give it to us though, or?
I mean, she certainly never watched them.
Damn. Tough girl Thursday.
Oh God.
Sorry,
But
Julie.
I think that's all I got on Temptation Island. What else do you guys want to talk about? I feel like we haven't been talking as much lately. We have no shows to watch. We had to find a new one.
I know. I can't
So
wait to
Temptation
drop
Island
this
it was.
like RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 7.
What was it, 8 episodes?
Honestly, if you guys drop this, I will continue it by myself. I am going to see this show through.
No, I'll still watch.
I have questions for Gina, actually.
Questions for Gina.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Just because, so we're done talking Temptation Island, right?
I think so.
I think so.
All right.
I don't know.
This is how I'm gonna separate the topics. So
Oh no.
I feel like we haven't gotten really to talk much lately, and it's not Monday, but
He's so
it's Mon Monday. Just wanted to make sure that was played at least once tonight.
It is Thursday.
Yeah, I know, but it's always Mon Monday here on this podcast on Strat
that's not
Chat.
how that works.
Well, I will say
it
that
is.
Mon Juan is certainly welcome in any one of my days.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's always Mon Monday. It doesn't have to be Monday to appreciate Mon Juan.
Levins need to get out of here with this fucking total drama island. I don't even show that coming.
I'm so confused about what Total Drama Island is.
I'm not doing it. I looked at like 30 seconds of it. I'm not watching an animated version of a reality TV show.
It's not reality TV.
Stupidest thing. What a dumb concept.
It's not reality TV.
I won't do it.
It's just simply not reality TV if it's like a narrative thing that you have written.
So sick of it.
That's not how that works.
I'm so sick of it. I can't have it. I can't have it. Liz wants us to talk about Claim to Fame. Listen, I'm very interested in Claim to Fame. I'm very.
So, you guys want to watch the Big D?
No, even though Peacock really wants us to. Peacock really wants us to, don't they? Every time you ended an episode of Temptation Island, like, hey, check out the Big D. I'm like, stop talking about me. Hey.
Oh, I get every time an episode of Temptation Island ends, it starts to automatically start the first episode of the Big D.
Nah, autoplay off. Get out of here.
But no, listen, Claim to Fame.
Cancel.
So my roommate Darcy watches Claim to Fame. I remember her talking about it last season. I didn't really understand like what it was. I didn't really get into it. I came home from work when the first episode of this season was airing, and she was watching it like with a friend in the living room. And I'm like in my room, cozy in bed, watching TV, and I hear them screaming at the TV. I opened the door, I was like, what is going on? And they were like, this show is fucking crazy. I was like, what do you mean? Isn't it just like guessing who their celebrity relative is? And apparently these people are like unhinged.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
The way they were talking about it, they were like, no, you don't understand. This is crazy.
Let's do it.
I'd be down. I actually do really want to check out Stars on Mars too.
Stars on Mars.
It is fun. I've had a good time with it. Yeah. I only watched the first episode.
I'm gonna watch it.
I think we're up to like 3 or maybe 4. Christmas.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's fun. It is fun. We should catch up.
Can we talk about Colleen Ballinger?
Jesus Christ! Yeah. Can we?
We're going off on a big tangent here, people.
I have done nothing over the last 2 weeks but consume content on Colleen Ballinger. Let me tell you.
All right, well, go ahead and start. I have to tinkle.
Well, I mean, how much are we aware of before I start talking? What do we know?
I know she's Miranda Sings, right? I honestly, I have never. Well, I don't. Because I'm not like I'm not a huge follower of hers.
Okay.
Like I kind of knew who she was. I knew what she did, but I know she's very. She is very talented, right? I mean, with music, but I did not realize all of the things that were going on here behind the scenes. Apparently,
so here's what's devastating for me is that I was a huge fan of hers. Like I grew up watching. She started doing Miranda like 2007, and I like grew up watching her. I've been to her live shows before. I met her at one of her live shows, and then after a while, the reason I was interested in this, I wanted to ask you about this tonight too, is because I saw your TikTok post today. Right.
Or was it yesterday?
It was either last night or this morning. I don't remember. It's one big day. Yeah. But no, I like after a while, I had kind of like, Miranda started getting more zany because it used to be just like a girl who thinks that she's the best singer in the world, the most talented person who's actually really bad at singing. And then it started kind of like evolving into this like wacky, zany character. And I kind of just like outgrew it. But then specifically over the pandemic, I started watching her vlog channel because she started posting, stuff that she was doing with her family during lockdown and just like these wholesome videos about like talking about her feelings and her experiences. And she's been very open about like her mental health journey and just like a bunch of like just stuff that she talks about in her life. And I connected to it a lot. And I started like really just becoming a fan of her as a person. She made her Broadway debut. Like there are just a lot of things that like from the time that I was in high school, I really looked up to her a lot because we're only, a couple of years behind her. And to see what has been coming out about her over the last couple of weeks, and to see all of this stuff resurfacing, and then yesterday to see how she responded to it, which we will get into, is like, it's very disheartening, and it's just vile. It's gross.
Well,
and it like,
yeah, I mean, because I feel like after I saw your TikTok post, I like started to try to look more into it, and I saw that she put up some weird like ukulele song
yeah.
today to like
Yeah.
and it was like 10 minutes long or 11 minutes long to respond to this. Like, these are very serious allegations, and
So
she's
just like
responding with a ukulele song.
for
But
anybody
like,
listening that maybe doesn't know what she was responding to, it was a lot of inappropriate conduct with minors in group chats. There are people who, from the time that she was like 30, 31 years old, was in group chats with people from the ages of like 14 to 17.
bless you,
And
Kyle.
bless you, Kyle. From the ages of 14 to 17. And she, you know, Adam McIntyre is kind of like the main person that's
Right,
kind of
Adam
gotten the
McIntyre.
ball rolling on this.
Yeah, Adam
And
McIntyre is the name I saw. And he apparently received, and she admitted to this too, right? That
yep.
she sent him when he was, I don't know exactly when it happened, but he said
was
that
like 13,
he was
14
conversing
years
with
old.
her. Yeah, he was conversing with her a lot. I saw between the ages of like 13 and 16 or something was like the years that he was talking to her. And she apparently sent him a pair of underwear in the mail, or a set of underwear through the mail.
Oh God, this is so crazy. So it was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago that Adam first came. He like had a falling out with her and came out about this whole lingerie thing. He was, at the time when he made this video, 17 years old. And he was he was doing it to like explain to his friends why he is no longer a part of the group chats and no longer a part of the fan base and just not really in it anymore. And he started telling these stories about him feeling uncomfortable around her and with her, and just feeling like there were boundaries crossed and lines crossed. And one of the things that he referenced was receiving a pair of lingerie in the mail from her at 14 years old, and his parents being like, well, what the hell is this? And thinking it was super inappropriate. And
she admitted to this, right?
Well, so people started calling her out and being like, what's going on? And then 3 years ago, she made a quote unquote apology video addressing it. She was like, yeah, well, here's the thing. I did send him underwear. That is stupid. I shouldn't have done that. However, at the time, Miranda, I would get a bunch of weird stuff in my P.O. box as Miranda, and I would just like send stupid things in the mail to people as a joke because Miranda's crazy. And then she showed what has now come out to be a doctored video of him on a live stream begging her, please send me this. I want the lingerie. I think it's so funny, you know, all of this stuff. Which
Jesus.
At the time, everybody was like, oh, so this Adam kid is just looking for attention and trying to get everybody mad at this person that everybody loves. How dare he? Raked him across the coals. Public enemy number one. Never talked about again. So Adam was like dealing with just a bunch of hate at 17 years old, a bunch of hate of like, you're clout chasing, trying to call out this person who did nothing wrong.
Right. And she did that in this latest song, right, too? Like being like,
well, we got a lot to get through before we get to the song.
Yeah. And Kyle, so we actually do have the lyrics from this song tweeted on
the apology video.
Yeah, whatever that song is.
Yeah.
I
just had the lyrics like in like a little picture.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
This is the 11 minutes of lyrics that you had to watch to.
That way you don't have to actually like listen to them.
So we have all the lyrics posted on the podcast Twitter account @ChatChatPod. Yeah, she's crazy.
Well, so then this was about like 2.5, 3 weeks ago. There was this person named Cody, who I guess had just recently had a falling out with Colleen as well, and said, okay, well, Colleen, you know, like we aren't friends anymore. We're not on good terms anymore. And now I'm about to blow open a bunch of stuff and like receipts that I have on Colleen, and makes this long video of like videos and screenshots and all of this stuff about like things that Colleen has done wrong, and basically corroborating Adam's story and saying that like, for these 3 years, she has been aiding Colleen and trying to get people to take down Adam. And now I'm sorry for doing that. And here's a bunch of receipts on like all of stuff that Colleen has done wrong, which now people are saying, okay, so wait a second. you could have corroborated his story, and instead you allowed everybody to go in on this 17-year-old kid for 3 years when you knew that you had proof that he was telling the truth and you said nothing about it. So now
Yeah.
people start seeing that, like, oh, we were too hard on Adam. Let's give Adam more of a platform. Adam starts telling more of his story, which has led, because Adam is about 20 years old now, which has led other people who were 14 to 16 at the time to feel now comfortable saying, okay, well, I didn't feel comfortable talking about this before because I saw what happened to Adam, but now that people are willing to listen, I can also tell my story and tell my experiences. And this goes so far as, like, her using fans to run tech for her bus tour and treating them terribly. Her talking to the minors in these group chats about her ex-husband and her sex life with her ex-husband and her marital problems with her ex-husband. There are screenshots of her asking a 14-year-old Adam if he's a virgin and what his favorite sex position is.
Yeah, I saw that was in like a group chat too, right?
Yep.
That wasn't even just like it was, Adam was included, but I saw there was other fans in that, and they were also underage.
Yeah, they were all 14 to 17.
Yeah. I also saw something, so I don't remember the name now, but I thought I saw something about an employee of hers that said
that's
that they were working on her
the bus tour. Yeah.
And brought a girl, a 16-year-old girl, on stage at one of her shows, told her to lay down, and then Colleen spread her legs on stage.
So again, and this is where it's like, it's so crazy because, again, we're not that different in age. So when I was growing up watching Miranda stuff, it didn't feel inappropriate to me because it was someone my age doing weird stuff. But now she has gotten older and she's in her 30s and her fan base is still young children. So there are videos of her on tour bringing a kid who can't be more than like 10 or 11 years old on stage to have a quote unquote date with Miranda. Haha, funny little bit. And she puts like candy in her pants and makes the kid reach into her pants and get the candy out. The video that you're referencing is there was a young girl who, like, Miranda would do a segment where like anything inappropriate is porn. And that was like her whole thing is like, oh no, that's porn. Oh, you're wearing a crop top. That's porn. So kids would come to her shows dressed in like revealing clothing to try to get called up on stage and be used as a prop for the bit. And there was one girl that got called up who was wearing like a very revealing outfit. She was wearing a dress with like, like shorts underneath it, but like was still wearing a dress. And Miranda made her get on stage and do this like bit where she was teaching a yoga class and she made her like spread her legs and then she would play fart noises. And she did it like a couple of times. And this young girl who's wearing a dress with nothing underneath it is now spreading her legs in front of this audience full of people, full of young kids, and full of some kids with like their parents there, who she said she was like, I felt very violated. And then as I was leaving the show, some people started looking at me a little differently than they were looking when I came in, like older men who were now looking at me as this young girl who was just quote unquote exposed on stage. And, it's just a lot of like grooming allegations and pedophilia allegations. And it's just
yikes.
And I've seen, like, I feel like, unfortunately, it's a common thing that when like people are victims and they accuse somebody that has money and influence and all that, right? They're not necessarily believed or taken seriously. And so I've seen the argument out there that, well, why are these accusations and allegations just coming up now if this was all going on? Because even you said Adam, right, is now like 20. And this was happening to Adam when he between 13 and 16 years old or whatever. And I read something today that made a lot of sense to me and really like resonated with me. It was that like when this stuff was going on with the people that are now coming forward, they were children, teenagers, and not teenagers where you could be 18 years old and be a teenager and be a little bit more educated. You're about to go to college, you're in college or whatever, but like we're talking about 13, 14-year-old kids. And so like when people talk about like, why is this only just coming out now? It's like, and what I read was that the people that are starting to make these accusations towards her are saying, because at the time I was 13 and I just thought it was cool that I was talking to a hero of mine. Where now I'm 20, I'm 21, I'm 22, and I'm just realizing that what was happening was wrong.
You see adults that have been through abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, like whatever it is, who sometimes they don't realize that it was an abusive situation until years down the road. Sometimes they're scared to come out because they think that their abuser might do something to them. Adults don't come out until years later after they have processed and feel safe to do so. When I was 13 years old, if I had contact with somebody that I watched all the time and I idolized and I looked up to and I worshiped, and now they're speaking to me like I'm a friend, my 13-year-old brain isn't saying, oh, this person is an adult, I shouldn't be talking to them, this is wrong. My 13-year-old brain is saying, oh my God, this person that I love so much also likes me. That's crazy. I look up to her so much and she's giving me attention. That's so exciting. They don't understand that it's not okay until they get older and they look back and say, oh, now that I am a legal adult and I am of age and I'm older, I can imagine even thinking about speaking to children like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And then, people have been waiting and talking about it for, 2.5 weeks. What's going to happen? She hasn't addressed anything. There are a couple of clips that I've seen on TikTok of her, like, making passing comments about it on her tour, because she's still touring. She's still going on tour. There are still future dates for her tour that are planned and she is still going to that have not yet been canceled. But everyone's waiting for her to make a statement, radio silence. And then all of a sudden, yesterday morning, this video goes up of her statement, which is her pulling out a ukulele and singing a song that she wrote and rehearsed and is now recording about,
right. and probably played and recorded herself playing
multiple
it
times.
Multiple times. Oh, that take wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do another one.
There were moments in that video where she like pretended to turn off the camera and was like, "Oh wait, I just thought of something else I'd like to say," and like pulled out a 10-minute video of her playing the ukulele and singing a song about how unfair it is that everybody's dogpiling on her based on lies. Mind you, there are screenshots and videos of this happening, and she provides no proof of any counter argument. But because she says they're lies. And
the fact, I'm sorry, she already admitted to sending some teenage kid her underwear, right? So I'm sorry, you've lost all credibility. Sorry.
And she specifically calls out the girl in the yoga thing and says that, this is all happening because I made a fart joke one time. Completely ignores the fact that, she at one point says, I'm getting called out for being in group chats with minors, but I wasn't doing it in a creepy way. I was doing it in a loser kind of way because I'm just weird. But honestly, you guys are the problem, because now you're trying to ruin my life and my career based on things that you made up, and you want me to sit here and take accountability and apologize when I haven't done anything wrong. And honestly, you guys are the problem for now coming at me and trying to make me feel bad and trying to take down my career and, just making this whole big thing. That the toxic gossip train is what she called it. And how, based on all of this gossip of everyone just deciding that the cool thing to do is to hate me, you're all the problem. And she didn't say sorry once.
Yeah. I also, I thought the whole video that she put out is so disgusting. But
did you watch it all?
I thought, yeah, I did today. But what killed me, honestly, before she even started playing that stupid ukulele and started singing the bullshit that she was singing, I think what bothered me almost worse than anything was, I don't know what she was trying to accomplish with this video, I guess, because the way, awful. She's just awful. This is awful. All of this is awful. But the way that she started this video and before she started playing, being like, my team have strongly advised against me saying anything, but they didn't say I couldn't sing. And then she starts playing the ukulele and saying all this shit. It's like, these are very serious allegations, and the people making them have actual ground for what they're saying. They have actual evidence. Right. You sent a set of underwear to an underage child. And now you're just being like, oh, my lawyers told me not to say anything, but I'm going to sing about it. Let me get my ukulele. And now she's being like, yeah, what the hell is wrong with you?
I cannot imagine being one of these kids who came forward about their trauma in such a public way with thousands of people watching videos about you having to talk about something that has brought you trauma into your adult life. And this is what you get in response. Completely dismissive, treating it like it's a joke. It's gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk to you about this because I had seen your post and I saw a lot of things, on the internet about it. And like I said, I know, like as soon as I saw, like pictures of her and stuff, I was like, oh, I know who this person is. Like I've seen their work before, but I honestly was not totally in the loop on everything that had been going on. So when I saw your post, that actually made me then go to like YouTube and Twitter and like look more into it. And I was like, holy shit. Like
too is like, people are saying like, I really don't understand what the purpose of this video was, because it's like it's not an apology video because she's not apologizing. And
right.
Unless you're specifically trying to kill your career so you can now be done and it's over and it's whatever, all you have done now is draw more attention to what you've done wrong, because now people who maybe didn't know who she was, or like you didn't know these allegations that were coming out against her, are now seeing everybody talk about this wild apology, and more people that weren't in the loop are now finding out about what you've done. So all you've done is exacerbate the problem and make yourself look like more of an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw somebody comment also saying like, oh, she's just trying to get that last paycheck before she's totally canceled and banned from all social media. Get as many views as you can and all that stuff before you're totally done.
That's another thing. I actually just saw a post about this right before we signed on, where like, because everyone's like, why did you need to make a 10-minute song about this? You couldn't just address this in like why is this a 10-minute video? Well, if you're on YouTube and a video is at least 10 minutes long, you can monetize it. If it's smaller than 10 minutes, you can't monetize the video. If it is 10 minutes or longer, you can now monetize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really sick. Really so sick. But, man, what a tangent tonight, huh? We were talking about Temptation Island a little while ago.
Well,
now you brought it up, man.
Yeah.
Well, we did mention we were going to talk about this before we got on.
Oh, yeah. No. This is not a Temptation Island podcast. No. That's just a foundation. That just gathers us together. No.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Any other topics to delve into?
No, but I wouldn't mind just sharing with everyone how excited we are to be attending House Chops this August for the Big Brother 25 premiere. It'll be the first time the three of us are together as the three of us in
a public setting,
really
like not on the internet.
Yeah. When was the last time we've never really been together, have we?
Oh, you guys came and
there was one time that we went to John's house to watch Big Brother and the Challenge, and that is the last time that we've all been together.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago, wasn't it?
No, we didn't start the podcast 3 years ago.
Well,
it was either the beginning of 23 or 24.
I guess not 3 years. I think of us as Big Brother season.
Our second birthday is coming up.
Right. Yeah.
I'm saying like our first podcasted season was season 23. So it was I believe it was the premiere of 24 that we did this for. I think. So it would be a year ago. Right? Is that right?
I think it was last summer sometimes at some point, I think.
Last summer.
Because there was an episode of Big Brother and a premiere episode of The Challenge at the same time.
Was it The Challenge?
Was it last year or was it 2 years ago?
I feel like it was Big Brother and The Challenge USA.
You know what? It might have been 2 years ago, because I think it was
2 years ago. That's why I said 3, because I see it as.
But also,
third Big Brother season.
If I remember,
but we're not even 2 years old yet, though.
Yes, but
we already had the podcast going on.
This is the third year, is what he's saying. This will be our third season.
That
But
I'm
no,
counting Big Brother seasons, not podcast seasons. So
But
I'm
wasn't
but it might
24
have.
our first Big Brother season? We didn't cover the All Star season
no, we
during COVID.
23
We
was our
covered
first.
23. The
Really?
cookout.
Yes,
Oh,
Big
yeah,
Brother
you're right.
22 was the cookout.
But
Yeah,
I
You're
think
right.
it
this
actually
would be
was
our
that.
third.
I think it actually was that season because if I remember correctly, the episode of the challenge that I watched at your house was the first episode of the challenge I'd ever seen.
That's possible. Like
I'm
that
pretty
part of it, I
sure.
don't remember, but I know it was not the Challenge USA premiere. It definitely was not.
I
This was
think it was the
definitely
first
2 years
episode
ago.
of Challenge that I had ever seen, so it would have been Spies,
Was
Lies,
it
and
what was it
Allies.
Challenge 38 or 37?
Whatever
37.
Spies, Lies, and Allies was the
So
first.
we just had 38, right? What's I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what I got to stop using numbers.
So yeah, like 2 years.
It's 2 years, and that one was like we were just getting started.
Mm.
So yeah, I messed up the
Warming up.
number because I'm counting Big Brother seasons, not years of us.
Right.
You know, it's off. So I'm sorry I messed that up. But like, it definitely was 2 years.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. You were
You
much
yelled
closer
at
than I was. I don't remember what's going on. I don't know
Like,
what's happening.
we're only on our second birthday or something. Like I was so stupid, and I was like, I just counted Big
I
Brother.
didn't think you were stupid.
Gosh,
What's
I
wrong?
count my life in Big
Whoa.
Brother season.
John really likes to try to convince us we're wrong when we're 100% right.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, the thing is
Whoa.
that I was wrong. Like I was wrong. I just wasn't super wrong. I was just
Wrong
counting.
adjacent.
Yes, I was parallel to
I mean,
wrong. Like I was. I
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes we're all wrong. You know?
and that's a nice note to end on. Because that also means sometimes we're all right.
That's right.
Thanks.
You were just right.
So yeah, House Chops. We're gonna meet Taylor Hale. I hope. Hopefully, we look
God, we gotta get a
fantastic.
picture
Look
with
real
her.
good that night if I would meet
Yeah, I
Taylor
want her
Hale.
to,
I'd
like,
have to come
walk
correct.
past.
I can't.
Oh,
We gotta get a picture with Taylor.
If the most beautiful human being on earth is going to be there, I have to look good.
So beautiful, and like basically, it's almost like the entire Big Brother 24 cast.
I know they're all gonna be
Fans,
there.
People we hated.
Yeah, pretty much everybody except for Daniel and Nicole will be there, I think.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well,
So,
Kyle and Alyssa, I don't think are there either.
Oh, wow, that is true, and I didn't even think about that. I didn't even notice their absence.
is Jasmine gonna be there?
She
Yes.
is. She is.
I can't wait. I hope she's wheeling herself around on one of those little scooters the whole night. Like just for fun. Just for fun.
Oh my gosh. I actually would like to have a conversation with her because everyone seems to be cool with her after this. whole
Yeah,
experience.
she like has been hanging out a lot with the cookout.
Yeah, she has. And like people really seem to have taken her in. So like she may have also gotten a bad edit. So I wouldn't mind having a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Liz wants to know if we would be sharing a little bit about the experience. Yes, absolutely we will be. Because this is on a Wednesday. So I intend to be live that Thursday.
Mm.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really, really great. Blevins wants to know, bring a headshot. Absolutely not. I do not want to be held down holding anything extra. We're so sorry. It is also why we will not be bringing Jasmina Kane. Sorry, girl. You're on your own. But yeah, it's gonna be a really, really fun night. And that's only the first round of
Of
attendance.
guests, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, considering it's Oz's event, I have to assume the majority, if not all, of the cookout will be there.
Oh my God.
Now, and
Can you
hold on now.
imagine if I get to
Ozza
hug
was on.
Tiffany? Oh my God.
I would cry at
Oh,
her
man.
feet.
God.
Now,
Oh,
I
God.
also want to ask. So Ozza was on the Challenge USA season 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if anybody from that season will be there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know if they like cross show
Why not?
people into. I've never really paid as much attention on who attends these events or not.
Right.
You know.
You know, I mean, like,
And last year was
I
only the
don't-
first year. House Chops is now like it's
Right.
getting bigger. So
right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she would say, like, "Hey, anybody from the from the Challenge cast? I mean, if you're in New York, stop by."
What
Yeah,
if
maybe
mom and
we'll run
dad will
into,
be there? DX and Claire.
Could be. They could be. It's possible.
That's of course possible. I mean, they were on everything. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
They won The Amazing Race.
I also was loving, I don't know about you guys, if you were watching them, the stories from Michelle and Lewis on their cruise they were on with DX
No,
and
I'm
Claire.
not on Instagram right now. I missed it all.
Wow, you missed
Wow,
a
what
lot.
a loser. You're a big
I'm
loser,
not on-
yeah.
John, I'm gonna kick your ass. No, I haven't been on Instagram, so I missed things.
Yes, they went on a cruise. Brought to you by Virgin Voyages.
Yeah.
Had like a good sponsorship.
God, oh man.
But they had a blast.
God. We got to tell Lewis and Michelle they have to come to New York for August 2nd.
Oh my gosh, if I actually got to meet them, I'd be so happy.
They're
Yeah.
so
Like be
cute.
meeting
I
like
love
old
them.
friends. Stop. Love them so much.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. I think we've had it.
I think so, right? There's nothing else to talk about, is
I
there?
don't think so. No.
What do we have coming up? Anything? We don't know yet, really, right?
No, we do.
still
We,
figuring
at
it
least
out.
at least
Week to
next
week.
Thursday. We know we're going to start talking about Claim to Fame, right? So we should have 2 episodes of Claim to Fame,
Mhm.
and we'll be
And-
chatting about
and
Temptation
Temptation
Island. And I am 85% sure we'll be joined by Billy Blinks DeMarco from our friends, the Reality Guys.
And
Nice.
Yes.
Very fun.
Should be a really, really fun night. He watches both. He really loves Claim to Fame.
I told you, Darcy's obsessed with it.
Yep, give a real solid endorsement on Twitter. Okay, so really
So-
excited to dive into that one. That'll be fun.
So is Darcy the next guest after Billy?
wow,
We got a
yeah. Let's
Perhaps.
let's have
Temptation Island guest in Billy, right? And a Claim to Fame guest in Darcy. Why
Look
not?
at all three inhabitants of apartment 2F on the podcast.
Look, Darcy is
Yeah.
going to have to use her cell phone or something because we can't have the same.
Yeah, hopefully your Wi-Fi can take it.
Yeah.
Listen, my computer was fine.
Yeah, we can't have another like sharing a headset, people talking. That was a mess with Gina. and
Yeah,
Jake.
real mess. Real mess.
That was a mess.
My computer was fine. James was the problem child there.
Ooh.
Yeah, well then you were both using your laptop and James is like sitting on your lap.
I told him I would get a chair, and he said no, thank you.
It was just very funny. It was just very funny.
Your world stuffs. Any Hoosers, that's what's going on. That's coming up next Thursday. We have a few other things, cooking, a few other, what would they say? Buns in the oven.
Wow.
I know. Get me out.
That is not what that expression
know.
means.
Well, why not? Why not? They're cooking. Things are in the oven.
Yeah, they are cooking. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The
You're not
dough
wrong.
has been what? Ned
Yeah.
or kneaded?
Ned.
Ah,
Not Ned.
The
right?
dough has been Ned.
Right? And
The dough has been Ned Stark.
it's in the pan and it's in the oven, So they are buns. Blevins would like
They
to
are
know.
buns. Nice buns.
Blevins wants to know if we can get a Lidl from Gina before. we
God,
go.
I'm gonna leave the podcast for.
So can we? Can we get a Lidl finally
I have
from
been
Gina?
yelled. Matt Blevins, I have been yelled at about this every freaking day.
Well, what's
since the
funny is that
podcast.
Matt Blevins. What's funny is that Matt Blevins doesn't even know that, and yet he, a loyal viewer to our podcast,
Whose side are
wants
you
you to
on,
Lidl.
man?
I think he's on the side of the podcast.
I think it's on the side of the Lidl. People just want a Lidl. You can do it in your
Yeah,
own
Just
time.
give us. Can you give us one Lidl? Oh, you don't even have to do the voice. Just say Lidl. It's literally lead. The word lead. With a
I know what
lull
the word
at the end.
is.
Yeah, just lead. Oh, can you do that?
I-
Lidl.
At this point, just because it pisses you off so much, I don't want to even more.
Listen, I'm not the one you're upsetting. You're upsetting Matt Blevins.
Okay.
You're upsetting
Tonight,
Lewis
we are
and
leaving
Michelle
on a
Cologne.
Spicy note. You can find us next Thursday at 9:30 We'll be discussing Claim to Fame and Temptation Island. You can find us on the socials at StratChatPod or on the hopefully, eventually updated website, StratChatPod.com. Thanks for hanging out tonight. We're out of here.